have to keep this pretty short. So I don't have to explain why I have to keep this short. But we have a new roommate and she's a bit all-consuming, literally, and also time-wise. But I just wanted to say that, full disclosure, I had this amazing recipe planned that I wanted to share, but I actually hadn't tried it in advance, which I keep doing and is not very smart. But it was a complete and utter fail. It was absolutely horrible. And instead, I'm gonna show you a recipe that I make often that is like crazy versatile. You basically, the only ingredient you absolutely have to have in the house is potatoes, like baking potatoes, russet potatoes, for example. You can stuff them with whatever you want, whatever you have on hand. You'll see what I mean when you watch the recipe. And also, I don't know why, but I didn't post any apple stuff, even though we go apple picking every single year, and I have made about 100 apple pies since October, or late September. Like to a kind of unreasonable extent. I made pies for us, pies for other people, and now just every week I'm craving pie, which is not, you know, the best. But I love making them, and they're so easy to make, and I just decided that I'll share that with you too, because I mean, who doesn't like apple pie? What else did I want to say? Nothing, just really that I forgot. I don't know what we were thinking when we brought this little, this is Cricket, by the way. When we brought Cricket home, we probably felt like heroes because we were rescuing her, and probably also felt like we were doing Tallulah a huge favor by getting her a baby sister. And we completely forgot that that means getting eaten alive on a regular basis, getting zero sleep, getting yelled at by a toddler, and what else? I don't know. My brain doesn't even work anymore. She's very cute to look at though, isn't she? Anyways, I'm gonna just thank you in advance because I really don't think I'll have time to film a thank you ever again, or at least definitely not today. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. And if you are a Substack subscriber or Patreon subscriber, I can't thank you enough. I say that every single week. I'm saying it again this week. It means an enormous amount to me that you are part of this and helping to contribute to it. So thank you. And if you would like to work one-on-one with me for naturopathy, there is a booking link in the description below. I work one-on-one live with people here in Montreal, but also virtually if you can't make it into the clinic or if you don't live here. I have to go. I'll be back really soon. In the meantime, take really good care of yourselves. Bye. You'll have to excuse the squeaky toy in the background, but if I wait until this puppy is sleeping next to record this, something else will probably be going on and this will never get done. So the first time I made rebaked potatoes was years and years ago when I was vegetarian but not vegan, and I believe I got the recipe from one of the Moosewood cookbooks, the Molly Katzen, like maybe it was the Enchanted Broccoli Forest, I'm not sure. Anyways, one of those cookbooks. And since then my recipe has evolved quite, well, I shouldn't say it's evolved. First of all, it's just now completely plant-based, and also just that I improvise every time I make it. So I just kind of go with what we have here in the house normally. But you can do it so many different ways and make it delicious with different themes. You can make it kind of Tex-Mex or more pizza vibes or whatever you want to do. I have this squash that I wanted to use, so I cut the squash in half and scraped the guts out, and then I washed some russet potatoes and poked holes in them, and I put all of those in the oven to bake until they were both nice and soft and ready to use. while the potatoes and squash were cooling down, I mashed some tofu. And then I scraped out the flesh of the squash. Slice your baked potatoes in half and then add the insides of the potato also to your mixture. I don't scrape the potatoes too close to the skin because I don't want them to fall apart when I'm stuffing them. To all of that, I usually add some plant-based yogurt of some kind or mayonnaise if I don't have yogurt, or even kefir, just something to make it creamier. You could even use a soy cream if you wanted. I add some nutritional yeast and some black salt because the original recipe called for some boiled egg chopped, and I really liked that flavor, but I don't eat eggs anymore, so I just add some black salt for that kind of eggy taste. I add some regular salt and some cracked black pepper. You could also add some granulated garlic or dried onion or whatever seasonings that you like to use. You could use taco spices. Like I said, you can choose a theme if you want to and just season it accordingly. You could also put some jalapeno or some hot banana peppers, whatever you love. I often put a bit of vegan cheese on top because that gets nice and melty and a little bit crispy too. And to these ones I added some red chili flakes. And then you just reheat those in the oven until they're nice and hot, and whatever you topped them with is nice and tender or melty or crispy or golden brown. I will link my recipe for pie crust in the description, but it is for one pie crust. So if you were just making a cherry pie or a pumpkin pie that didn't have a top on it, you would use that recipe. Otherwise, you're going to want to double or triple. It depends on how much pie you're making and how much of a top you want to put on it. I won't give you exact measurements for the apples because it really depends how deep your pie dish is. I made one that was quite shallow, one that was medium, and then another one that was really a deep dish pie. You're going to want as many apple slices as it takes to fill your pie tin, and then a little bit more. You want it to be a bit higher than your pie tin because as the apples bake down, they're going to shrink a little bit. And for those of you who hate it when I suggest that you improvise, which I totally understand, let's just say it's going to be somewhere between 7 and 8 apples maybe, but then again it depends how big your apples are. So let's say somewhere between 8 and 10 cups of apple slices, after they're peeled, cored, and sliced about 1/4 inch thick. The recipe is very simple though. It's just flour, a tiny bit of sugar, a tiny bit of salt, some ice cold water. That's very, very important. You need cold water, and then some very cold plant-based butter. And you're going to cut that in. You're not going to blend it. You're going to cut it in with 2 butter knives or a pastry cutter. And then you are going to make that into a ball. And then you're going to roll that out into a disc and put that in the fridge to stay nice and cold while you prep your apples. Once you have sliced, peeled, and cored your apples, you're going to add about 1/2 cup to 3/4 of a cup of sugar. You can use white or brown, it doesn't matter. And I guess maybe a quarter to a third of a cup of all-purpose flour, and some ground cinnamon. Once all of your apples are really nicely coated, you're gonna empty those into your nice cold pie crust, and then keep the bowl with the juicy sugary syrup that's in the bottom of it for brushing the top of the pie crust afterwards. And then probably my favorite thing about making the apple pie, not eating it, making it, is decorating the top. And you can do that any way you like, but if you just roll out a flat crust, I would definitely cut some holes in it to let the juices of the apple bubble through and the steam. Totally optional, but I like to also sprinkle some sugar on top, especially if it's like turbinado sugar or a bigger kind of chunkier sugar, but any sugar will do. And sprinkle a bit more cinnamon on top of the crust before it goes into the oven. Preheat your oven to 425 and pop the pie into the bottom third of the oven. Let it bake for 10 or 15 minutes and then reduce the oven to 350 and bake that for another 45 minutes. Once you take the pie out of the oven, let it really cool completely, so for a couple of hours, so that the filling can thicken up.